This is Ada and Emily, and we are coming to you live for the Ruby Code Along. We are not seeing that there are any viewers on our end, so if you are there, can you please drop us a note in the question and answer box so that we know that you're there, because otherwise we will reschedule this Code Along. Oh, okay, let's see. Megan says that she's having trouble. Let's see if we can reply to this. Hey. Did that go anywhere? All right, well, we're going to hold tight until we get confirmation that we are live. Okay. Okay. Well, we have one viewer. Kelly. Oh, two viewers. Okay, good. That's enough for me. All right, fantastic. Okay, so like I said, this is Ada and Emily. We are here for the Ruby Code Along. Sorry to get a late start. We weren't seeing that there was anyone there, so we wanted to make sure that nobody missed anything. But we're happy. Since this is a small crowd today, we are very happy to make it extremely interactive. So if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and add them in the Q&A module, which should be accessible. Actually, let me see. If you're in the, if you have it full screen, this was really confusing to me the other day. There's like this little square thing that's like, it's like 9 squares or something like that, and if you click that, then you'll see the Q&A module, and then you can ask us any questions. We'll see them live and be able to answer them. So the plan today is that we are actually, given all of the delays that keep happening with the launch of the, what is it that what spacecraft? It's whatever's going to go to Mars eventually.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it.
So there is a spacecraft that NASA is supposed to launch, and they keep delaying it. And it was like it's been delayed now 3 times or something. And so what we wanted to do is create a website where you could go and it could tell you when the next launch of the spacecraft is. So I went ahead and found this, and granted, I guess this page does that, but you know, we got to make our own. So what I am looking at right now is the launch schedule on the NASA website. So what I want to do is create a little Ruby app that will actually give me this information. And so I'm going to start. This is the kind of thing where there's not going to be an API, I wouldn't assume, that's going to give me this information. So chances are that my best bet is to just scrape this information using Nokogiri. So I'm going to first create a Ruby app that scrapes and gets the information, and then my next job or my next task will be to build that terminal app into a Sinatra app so that we can actually see it on a website. What was I going to say? I forget. We're going to give this a try. So I'm going to start in my terminal. I'm going to make a directory, mkdir. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm in my NASA, and I'm going to open it. And this is the kind of thing where if Emily were showing you her skills, she would do all this in Terminal, but I just tend to open TextMate at this point and start coding. So I'm going to save this document. We're going to save it into Sites, NASA, and I'm just going to call it launch.rb. I'm going to make sure this is really big. Now, how do I make stuff bigger in, you know what? I remember that I usually don't use TextMate for this exact reason. So
yeah,
on webinars. So now I'm going to do this in Sublime. And for whatever reason this opened. So one of the things that I don't like about Sublime is that I feel like I'm really confused sometimes about what is open. But anyways, we'll discuss that on a later date. Okay, so I think the first thing that I'm going to need to do is just install Nokogiri. So I'm going to run gem install Nokogiri. I should probably already have it installed, but we'll see. Oh no, what Ruby version am I running? Oh dear. Oh dear. Emily is laughing. I can see it, but we can't hear it. Okay, so we're going to work on apparently fixing my Ruby installation. I'm actually sitting here being like, I should just switch to another computer maybe.
I know.
How do I even do this? RVM update.
See.
RVM get, well, what is it? RVM rubies? Nope. RVM usage. Let's find out.
RVM get stable will upgrade to the most stable version.
RVM get stable?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and now I need to do RVM. How do I see like what rubies I have?
RVM list.
Okay, so I'm going to RVM use Ruby 2.1.2. Ugh. Why can't I understand what I'm saying? Okay, now let's try that again. No good. So for those of you who are just joining us, what we are working on right now is that we are going to create a NASA an application that's going to, it's just going to be a one-page site, and it's going to tell me when the next launch date of a NASA spacecraft is going to be. So I went ahead and found the NASA schedule, launch schedule, and what I'm going to do now is I am going to do a Nokogiri. I'm going to scrape this information with Nokogiri and then figure out what I want to do with it. So I am just waiting. Okay, so a good thing to do whenever you are installing a gem or working with a gem is, oh, why is it taking so long? Is to get the documentation out. And so we're lucky that Nokogiri has pretty good documentation. So I'm going to go ahead or I went ahead and went to the Nokogiri website, if you can see it. And so they have some great copy or some great content about how to use Nokogiri. So, all right, so now what I got to do is I have to make sure that this app of mine requires Nokogiri. And Nokogiri is telling me that I also need to require open whatever. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this thing where you, you get a full HTML document. So I am just going to start with doc, and then equals, and then I'll write Nokogiri HTML. I'm going to pass it a parameter. That parameter is going to be this website URL. Do I need to do anything else? No. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to actually, let's see what happens when I say puts doc. I don't know what's going to happen here, but we'll find out. So now we're going to go ruby launch.rb. So what I got was a bunch of HTML. So I know that another thing that you can do, so yeah, so this is like tons and tons of HTML. And hypothetically, if we, if I copy and paste this, let's see, let's just for fun take a look at this. Da-ba-da. See what happens. Okay. Call it NASA HTML. And I'm going to drag this right into my browser. So let's open a new tab. Okay, well, it doesn't, okay, well, this is interesting. Oh, this could be problematic. So what I'm seeing here is that it's not actually giving me this stuff because it looks like it's probably coming in through Ajax. What do you think about that, Emily?
That is unexpected.
I know.
And interesting. It never occurred to me that Nokogiri would have issues with sites that have a lot of Ajax content loading. Yeah.
I know. I'm wondering though. Look at all this stuff here. Is it possible that it's coming in through some other route? Oh yeah, look. This is an Angular site. Are you serious?
Huh.
Wow, who would have thought? I guess they are rocket scientists. All right, this is a really interesting wrinkle. Isn't coding fun? What? I wonder if I can can we Google for this?
Trying.
So the question that we're now dealing with is that Nokogiri gets HTML. But what's happening is that Nokogiri is going to this site and it's getting all the HTML, and that HTML doesn't actually have the content in it because it looks like what's happening is that NASA has a really fancy JavaScript framework in place, which means that the call is happening to the server after the page loads. Am I describing this correctly, Emily?
Yeah. Yep.
So basically, Nokogiri goes and gets this content or gets us the HTML, and there is no content in it because it hasn't loaded yet. And it's funny because actually, if you look at, so one thing that I did notice that I thought was weird was that if you look at this URL, it has all this weird junk at the end of it. And then it didn't really happen this time, but I guess one time that I did it, I noticed that it loaded after. There was a slight delay.
Yeah, anytime you look at a website and you see a little spinning icon, that's usually a good indication that that's actually content that's getting loaded by via Ajax. Except they have no spinny thing.
Right I'm just looking at this for fun, looking at the JavaScript that they're loading. And while we were trying to figure this out, I would love to hear from you guys. Do you guys have any questions about the work that you've been doing lately? You know, are there any things that you find particularly confusing about Ruby? I would love to hear who has installed Ruby successfully. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for one of you all to tell me. Maybe in the meantime, I'll also do some Googling. Nokogiri, scraping, Ajax. Well, there's a Stack Overflow thread about this. See what it says.
There actually is a NASA gem.
Of course there is.
It's from 2 years ago. It's from 2 years ago, and it's sort of unclear on their GitHub page exactly what you can do with it.
All right, well, let's play with it. All right. So can you provide me with the link? Or I can just look it up too. NASA gem.
Yeah, I found it by searching on the Ruby Gems website, which actually has a new design. It's nice.
Ruby gems. Oh, it is a nice new site. Okay. NASA gem. I guess I can look up NASA. Looks good. So I'm just going to install this. We're going to see what happens. So is there a page for them, for source code maybe? Oh, it's not an official NASA gem? Okay. All right. Jen, okay. So Jen is here to see how the pros tackle building a Ruby app. And, you know, it's with lots of trial and error is the answer. Wow, there's a lot of dependencies here. So what we're doing right now, as you can tell, is installing the NASA. Okay, so now I'm going to write require NASA. No, I do not want to purchase. Okay. All right, so I'm going to try these. Okay, latest feeds. Are any of these? Okay, so let's look at these feeds that NASA has. Are any of them the launch feed? I feel like we need music while we're doing this. It doesn't look like any of these are, I don't know. I mean, I can, okay, launch. What? Oh, look, they have an API. Huh. Huh. So what do we think? I mean, yeah, so none of these look like a launch one, as far as I can tell. Do you see a launch one?
No.
Is there something else cool that we can look up? I don't know what else these give us. So what do you think? Okay, this is interesting to me because like the gem author says that there is every feed has an ID.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the ID is like to this one? I guess I can look at another one to see if there's like a standardization here. I'm not seeing an ID that makes sense to me.
Is there a way to get all the feeds?
I don't know. Yeah, why don't I just start by that? I can do that here. So usually you have to. All right, interesting. Let's see how this goes. Say my data is equal to, and then I'm going to put my. Oh, did I? I think I did this in my. I'm worrying that this is not up to date enough with this feed site.
It is possible. How does the NASA API look? Does it look manageable?
Yeah. Maybe let's do get recent data sets. I mean, I don't know. No. So Megan's asking a question, which is, when I tried to install Nokogiri and Sinatra in class, I received errors both times saying I was unable to download the information and it had an SSL issue. I've heard of this before. So Megan, I actually have a question for you, which is, did you install a new version of Ruby, or are you using the Ruby that comes with your Mac? I don't know if you're on a Mac, but I know that when you are using the Ruby that comes with your Mac, if you then try to install gems, it won't work because you'll have permissions issues. So I'm not sure that that's the issue that you're having, but I know that that's a very, very common permissions issue that comes up. So I think the question that both Emily and I are having is that we're not 100% sure what the best way for us to access this NASA API, given that the gem that we're trying to use isn't working, and given that NoConcurity isn't working. I think that, I guess like I'd want to look at, okay, so we can access it over HTTP. I wonder, so, okay. So my question is, I wonder if, okay, do you notice this though? Look, it's not, why is this happening to me? Shouldn't this work?
What did you do?
I'm using the examples. I'm using, like if I do it, I guess it's not, I'm just putting in the,
Yeah, I would expect that to work.
right?
Yeah.
Especially because I'm getting something back from them. So yeah, so hypothetically, basically here at NASA, if you go to this website, I wonder if we can, is it possible for us to share stuff with, can I ask a question? I'll just paste this here. If you guys want to take a look at this website. So we would expect that that these sample URLs that they're using work because they're not just making any statements about authentication that would need to happen. And what's happening instead is we're getting these weird unknown method errors, which is very confusing because these are the methods that they provide us with. Let's see what happens if we do this one. Do any of them work? Aha, okay, this one works. That's really annoying. So why don't we change this to like launch? Telling us about the Galaxy new camera and when it launched. Okay, well, I guess my question then is, can NoConcurity handle this? Let's play with it. Doc equals, where is that NoConcurity website? I'm not seeing anything on NoConcurity about JSON, but it has to be like a JSON reader, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so I'm going to just Google for JSON. how do you think we get the, okay, because this will parse it and this will generate it. But how do we get it? Why don't I try it with this? I'll just do the no cookie for fun. We'll see what happens. Oh my gosh, look, that's my PHP. What did I do? Why is it telling me that I did not expect a... Why? Oh, I need one more. Sorry. There we go. All right, what are we going to get? Oh, I have to actually put something. Minor details. Okay, this is not going to work for me. Because it has all these p tags in it. Oh, Megan is on a PC. Okay, so Megan, can you take a screenshot of the error you were receiving and either email it to us or post it on MightyBell and give us the link? We are more than happy to debug this problem for you, but we'd need a little bit more information. So we've rolled out the Mac issue since you're not on a Mac. Da, da, da. Let's try something else for fun. I'm going to require JSON. I have to install it, gem install JSON. Oh, Megan, you know what? It's possible that you might need to sudo things. I do actually remember this coming up with some PC users, that sometimes you kind of have to override the permissions of your PC. I wonder if that could be part of it. Okay, so now I'm actually going to do json.parse. Do we think this is going to work? I'm dubious. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Did that work? What did that just do? Emily, do you think that worked?
Kind of.
I'm a genius!
Yeah, it looks like it worked.
Wow. Okay, so now what do I do? I don't think this has anything to do with anything that's useful to us, but okay, so I guess now we want to like parse this, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
What does your Ruby code look like right now?
Like this.
Okay.
My hope was to pull out just the JSON, and it actually looks like it may have done that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not sure, like, what, I wonder, I mean, maybe there's a better JSON, like, maybe there's a better data set that we could get instead of this. What is the name of the spacecraft that we're wondering about?
Orion.
Orion. No. There's nothing about Orion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Megan, Posted. So let's look at this question. Okay. Okay, so one thing to be aware of is that this doesn't have anything to do with Git. So don't worry about that. Emily, are you seeing this problem?
I can't quite. Oh wait, I can. Not yet, but I will.
I mean, I guess my first. Well, she's unable to download data from Ruby Gems. Could not find. Okay, I guess first of all, does it matter what folder she's in? I feel like it might. So, Megan, the first thing I would like you to do is I would like you to actually cd into your Ruby folder. I actually wonder, let me try something. Well, yeah. Okay, while we're waiting for Megan to get back to us. I just feel like, unfortunately, the data we're getting out of NASA is no good. Does anyone want to disagree with me? Why don't we get this? Let's do this. Oh, but we couldn't get the. I was like, let's do this image one. I bet that one's awesome. But now I'm like, but we can't even get it. Can we? Hold on.
Did we try that one?
I forget. Yeah. What the heck?
Come on, NASA.
I know. NASA is stinking today. Insert angry face. Oh no. Megan, no angry faces. Oh, I think Megan is joining us. Megan, are you there? Hello? I think we see you. Uh-oh. Oh. There's live screen for you right now. Yes. Megan, you are here. Hello? Oh, did you mute yourself? Okay. So, Megan, okay, yeah, she said she did. Okay, so Megan, the question so what we would love for you to do is to screen share with us. So in order to do that, you'll want to click the little green button on the left side of your Google Hangout, and then we can try to get Nokogiri installed on your computer because this NASA thing is a total bust. And I think that'll be a good thing to go through. I think everyone can learn from it. So if you can figure out how to screen share, we will share your screen. Oh, the Avengers. Okay, great. So we see Megan's screen. Fantastic. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Megan, the first thing I want to ask you to do is I want you to go into your actual Ruby folder. Because right now you are in your general users folder, and although you can install stuff from there, I just feel like it's not usually the best way to do things. You always want to be careful about what folder you're in. So let's start with that. Did you ever create a Ruby sites folder? I mean, I guess like, where is there a place where you do your work in general? Because that would be a good place to do it. Okay, so Megan is saying that she never created a folder. That's not a problem. I think you just want to go ahead and make one now, because the thing is that if you're going to do a Git repository for something, it has to be inside of a folder. Otherwise, you run the risk of creating your entire computer into, or adding all of your files into a Git repository, which is not the best idea, and we don't recommend it. So you want to isolate it to a folder. So start by creating a folder. Okay, that's fine. Working in the Skill Crush 104 folder is a fine start. So just get into the Skill Crush 104 folder, and then we'll go from there. And also, we have stopped being able to see your screen, so in case you want to put it back on. Okay, great. It's back. Okay, so it looks like you're in the right place. Great, fantastic. So now I want you to run gem install, which is the gem that you're trying to install. You're trying to install Sinatra, but also Nokogiri. So which one, you can pick which one you want to start with first. Great. Sinatra. Sounds good. That's good. Just hit enter and you're gonna, then we'll see what you get. Okay, so I want you to try something which is, hold on, let's just double check. I'm going to try that. I'm just going to check it as a sanity check, gem install Sinatra. I'm going to make sure I'm not getting the same error. Yeah, okay, I'm not. I want you to try sudo sudo gem install Sinatra. And I also welcome Emily's suggestions.
I just sent you a message. That's something I just read.
So you were saying that basically it's a good idea to add the -- source to the end?
I think what that command does that I just showed you is, like, by default, when you run gem install, it's going to go to rubygems.org over HTTPS. And then you get that weird SSL error. But to set it to HTTP, you have to run that command I just showed you.
I guess my only question is that the one you're showing me has a Rails thing. Can we just replace that with Sinatra?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So Megan, so it's sudo without the P. So sudo gem install Sinatra, but I actually think that what Emily just said is going to work better. So we're going to do this. I'm typing it to you in the chat box, and it's going to be gem install Sinatra, and then we're going to do -- and then we're going to write HTTP Ruby gems. So you can just copy paste what I just wrote to you in no, delete. You are missing the source part.
Two dashes, not one.
Okay. Yay! I think it's working. So this is what you're going to have to do every time, right? Emily?
Yeah, it's unclear to me if this is just like a temporary fix.
Okay.
So you literally have to do this every time.
Okay. So Megan, yeah, if it doesn't work in the future, you're going to have to try again, or you're going to have to add this flag -- source. Okay, cool. All right. right. Well, I'm glad something got accomplished during this code along. If any of you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask it. Let me actually switch. I realize that I can't see the questions right now, so let me see. If there are any more questions. Okay, so it doesn't look like there are any other questions. Megan, it was a pleasure working through that problem with you. Emily, it is always a pleasure. We apologize for, well, we don't really apologize. We just, well, I'll apologize on behalf of NASA for, I don't know, broken stuff. Perhaps they're transferring everything over to some fancy new framework, and that's why nothing was working. And I hope that you guys can get this code along. All right, take care, everybody. All right.